Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. It has begun. If you're a watch person, the holidays, December, ain't got nothing on March. Leaks have started, conversations have begun, speculation, Watches and Wonders is on the way. It's an exciting time, the most exciting time to be a watch fan. And we're going to talk about in this video this leak. All right, this very likely is the forthcoming Daytona. First of all, where did it come from? That's really important. I mean, the source of a leak means a lot. And this was shared by Philip Stahl on Instagram. And this is kind of important. Philip Stahl in the past has never been wrong. Apparently, he has a source that works at the publisher that publishes the catalogs for Rolex, and this person snaps pictures and sends them to Philip. And you know, it's interesting because last year Philip didn't have any leaks, and I remember thinking, did Rolex, the Rolex ninjas, track down this leaker and off him? But perhaps not. Now, when it comes to other leaks, you'll see websites, and those are really easy to fake on Photoshop. But the interesting thing about this is it's printed material that's been photographed. So at least if it's fake, they went to that effort to do it. Now, what is it? The 116508, all right? It's because of the 8-digit, we know that it's yellow gold. It's a solid yellow gold Meteorite dial, ceramic bezel Daytona. The subdials are black. And I remember thinking when I heard about it, before even seeing it, thinking, oh, it's kind of a shame to use up that real estate on that beautiful Meteorite dial with blackened subdials, but it makes it really legible. I think it's a beautiful watch. Now, how does this differ from other precious metal Daytonas besides the Platona? Well, it's got a ceramic bezel, and it makes sense to release this on this 60th anniversary of the Daytona. Now, the Daytona started in 1963, of course. It didn't get the name until a couple of years later. It started in 1963, and that's what Rolex feels is the birth of the Daytona. 2013, they came out with the Platona, the 116509. And a lot of people regard that as a 50th anniversary piece. I've made whole videos about that, link in the description. But it makes sense that a Daytona is on the way, being the 60th anniversary. Will it be an anniversary piece? Kind of, we'll get into that in a minute. But it's a great follow-up to what came out in 2013. And so I think it's a watch that makes sense in sort of the evolution of the Daytona. Now, is it going to have a new movement? Well, it doesn't look like it, because if you look at the reference number is, again, starts 1-1. And so if it was 1-2, I think that would mean either a size change or a movement change. So it's probably going to have the 4130 movement. That doesn't really need updating. It has the parachrome, blue parachrome hairspring. So I think it's going to be the same size, and it's going to be with the same movement. Now, a lot of people think it's going to grow in size to 41 millimeters, and that would make sense because a lot of people complain about the legibility of the Daytona, and an extra millimeter could only help with that, but I don't think it's going to happen, and here's why. I have a friend who has a direct connection to someone in Rolex, and my friend cleverly put a question to this Rolex employee: are you guys happy with the size of the Daytona? The response, and why this was such a clever way to phrase it, is, are you going to change the Daytona? Wouldn't have gotten a response. They would have clammed up. But the response was, yes, we're happy with the size of the Daytona. And so if you read between the lines, it doesn't seem like they're going to change things. But of course, this was in the past. And as you'll see when I make the video about the GMT that perhaps may be coming, what Rolex said maybe doesn't really mean much in regards to what they will do. You know, they can change their mind, but I thought that was very telling. We're very happy with the size of the Daytona. So I don't think it's going to grow in size, and of course that reference number doesn't indicate it will. Now, one more thing that I think is kind of interesting, and I hate to beat a dead horse about, you know, is this an anniversary piece or not? But really, whether you call it an anniversary piece or not, I think means something. And here's the thing. All right. Do you remember in 2017 when the 43 millimeter Sea Dweller came out? Now, when you think about that, do you think of it as an anniversary piece? I really don't. And if you go to the website today, it is not listed as an anniversary piece. They don't even really mention that. But in 2017, when it came out, Rolex did. And so it is a 50th year anniversary Rolex. Well, it was in 2017, but I guess an argument could be made that it isn't anymore. I know it's a weird argument, but it's sort of a way for Rolex to hype it, but then not look stupid like Grand Seiko and Omega with all these endless references to anniversaries. So I guess an argument could be made that the 43 millimeter Sea Dweller was an anniversary piece, but is not really regarded as one anymore. It sort of came out as one, but it's sort of settled into the catalog as just what the Sea Dweller is these days. And I think Rolex has really gotten away from what they did in 2004 with the Kermit, the 50th anniversary sub, the 16610 LV, which was certainly an anniversary piece with the receipts to prove it. And in 2004, Rolex needed the help. They needed the boost. In 2017, not so much. In 2023, they don't need it at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even mention this anniversary thing, but they might. And if they do, well, that information probably will fall off the website after a given time. And in this video, I remember mentioning Tim Mosso and Ben Clymer referring to the Platona as a 50th anniversary piece and saying, I don't know if they were right to do that, but they would have been right to do that if at the time Rolex had put that information out on the website. And it's just been extinguished and expunged since then. So it'll be interesting to see what Rolex phrases this as, whether it is a 60th anniversary piece. Probably not going to say it like that. They'll probably mention that it's been 60 years, but you very likely will see that just sort of fade away in the years, just like this information with the 43 millimeter Sea Dweller. Again, this is splitting hairs, but this is going to be an interesting thing to look out for. What do you think? Is this on the way? If I had to put money down, I would say yes, this is happening. If I was a betting man, and I am a betting man, so I think this is probably going to happen. And I think it's a beautiful Daytona fitting for its 60th year on Earth. Let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.